You know how I do.
However, Song of the Siren disjointed the fight and came back in favor of Fnatic.
Greetings and welcome in. Na'Vi US taking on Sneaky Nyx Assassins, and yeah, this draft is moving mighty quick. I started the roll-in video at about the same time we usually do, but we're coming in a smidgen late this time, largely just because, well, Na'Vi was late. They almost had a game one forfeit, so they got penalized draft time, and that has led to a very quick and speedy draft. I'm EC. Joined by Trout for the broadcaster on this Sunday morning edition, if you're on the west coast of the D2L. And we'll break this down quickly as we can. Tidehunter and Naga Siren, an old school combination. They're going to be picked up for Na'Vi US with two support picks in the Ogre and the Mirana, assuming that will be a Mirana support, though it could be a core very easily. Sneaky Nyx Assassins, well, to be honest, this looks like a Chinese draft to me. They just reminds me of a lot of the Eastern matches we've been watching lately. Trout with the Ancient Apparition and Bad out early, then the Faceless Void and the Brew, bringing up the third and the fourth position.
Draft here so far from Sneaky Nyx Assassins. It looks like it might be a one-position Void with Brew mid and then Batrider in the off lane. I'm not quite sure what they want to do. He's picking very quickly, so I'm guessing he has some kind of planned or predetermined draft, so to speak, in his mind. It is Brax, by the way. So speaking of interesting things, they had Ush depart actually from Sneaky Nyx Assassins, and they said it's Brax now playing for them.
Yep.
Who, by the way,
on the other side.
What's that?
And Ush is on the other side playing for Na'Vi.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting stuff there. And actually, it's always interesting when you have a new player come in and then takes over the team, so to speak. And now Brax is leading with the draft. So, and the last pick here is the Legion Commander. So one of these heroes is going to jungle. I would assume then Batrider as a straight-up jungler. So then my guess is, what is it here? I don't know, Legion Commander offlane, Faceless Void, Ancient Apparition, solo short? I don't know. This is very strange from Sneaky Nyx Assassin. Much more standard draft here coming out from Na'Vi US, and I think more of the same. Naga Siren being played by Ush, probably in a solo short. And then Arise is actually the stand-in here today for Na'Vi US, playing the puck in the mid-roll.
Yep, exactly. And we're going to hope that the East server's in better shape. Leading up to the match, the players were all kind of throwing a fit, as does happen whenever you have a group of professional players in a competitive setting, that the East server wasn't good, and was having packet loss, and then was like, well, we can go Lux or West. They're like, LOL, no, not doing anything because we hate UAC, and we're going to make your morning awful by arguing with you for 20 straight minutes. But we did end up going to East anyway, so hopefully everything's going to be fine. Arise, as you mentioned, a very talented player who's going to be playing on the puck, and hopefully the ping and packet loss and all that will be acceptable on his side, and I'm sure that ping, that initial pause here is going to be everyone checking their ping. Hopefully good news, guys, please.
I'm pinging myself right now. It seems fine, but yeah.
All right, good. So it is IX Mike who's going to be playing on the Batrider, so we'll see where he's going to wind up. They could do something even kind of wonky if they want, and run like a duo off lane with Whitebeard and IX Mike, and then just get Whitebeard like level 2, level 3, something like that, a little bit quicker, and then duck her into the jungle, or alternatively send the bat there. But Mike is going to be the one making his way up, and yeah, looks like Whitebeard's heading that way too.
Yeah, it might be one of these kind of disrupting lanes where you can kind of just spam out with the overwhelming odds, which is a pretty damn good nuke if you get a lot of units in the area to actually spam. And then, of course, once you get level 2, press the attack to be able to get people out of stuns from like Ogre or Ignite or even an arrow. It's pretty damn good. So, yeah, I think that's what they're going to do as well. That'll leave a dual lane for the Void and Ancient Apparition, which is not bad because Ancient Apparition is really good at zoning heroes out, especially melee heroes, even if it is a tide, just because the extra attack damage you get from Chilling Touch is really beneficial. Oh, lot. Really, Navi?
Everybody said it was fine. Everyone said
no,
it was fine.
It's terrible now. Actually, if you ping, it's like 220 ping, 30% pack loss. Yeah, it won't work, actually.
Volvo, please. All right. Looks like we're going to have a remake, guys, and hopefully it won't take very long. Thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast here on D2L. Hope everyone's had a wonderful, safe weekend so far, and all of you shaking off the hangover hopefully will be the tonic you need. We'll be right back again. Game 1 of SNA versus Na'Vi coming your way next. looks like we're back in, and thankfully, because I think collectively we're about ready to begin virtually strangling people, but I think we've got everything sorted. We are on West, as East appears to be continuing to have some major issues, but yeah, looks like the players are going to be happy now. The good luck, have fun's coming out. Let's talk about Dota. Can we do that, Trouf?
I hope so. Probably not. We'll probably have some kind of crap happen now, but Snaking coming down here rushing, and he's being aggressive. Very, very aggressive. He's running into Fluff. He got the ward down last time, but it's going to be a different spot. And actually, Navi US is all walking down here, and they didn't last time. So, changing things up a bit as we get into the second game. Ward here in the Magic Bush. Ward here. Oh my god, they're expending a lot here on the jungle.
Yep.
So, the Magic Bush, one above tier 1. One in the medium camp, and another one actually just to really assure that this hard camp gets blocked.
Yeah, this is some pretty intense stuff, really. Like you said, whole lot of wards expended, but it is going to be this dual lane from the Bat and the Legion. I, for the most part, do like... So what did she just buy? She just bought something. A couple branches. I do like this kind of dual lane setup because, you know, the hardest thing, and we joke about like the idea of like the level 1 Stout Quelling Doom and level 1 Sand King in the jungle. It's just bad. It's just bad across the board. We're going to finish that thought later as Fogged and Leader of Tears, if you have any idea who
that's Way 2.
Is it Way 2?
Yeah.
Why doesn't it just tag as Way 2?
He has the weirdest names I've ever seen. Like Everlasting Love. Just like, oh, Way 2.
He is going to be smoking on down. It looks like Fogged will be trailing behind him. At top, it's going to be Ush going one-on-one with IX Mike for the moment as Whitebeard is hanging back. You think maybe... Hang on. We're going to have Way 2 spotting Fluff. There's going to be a Fire Blast arrow on the mark. Wasn't from the longest distance. I don't know that it needs to be, though. And First Blood. Drawn by Way 2 and Fogged. With a very effective level 1 roam. Up at top, anyway. We saw Whitebeard was actually hanging back quite a bit. Now he's come into lane some. But I do like, I like that you call it a disruptive lane, and I think that's very accurate. What I dig the most about it is, in a situation like this, if you can send either of these heroes into the jungle, and either of them, certainly the Legion go one-on-one with the Naga Siren without much of a problem, or if they do rotate, you just leave the Bat up there and then drop Whitebeard back into the jungle. So it's a chance for you to adapt on the fly, have that flexibility, and be able to guarantee that your heroes are where they need to be.
Yeah, I think these disruptive lanes are really effective with Batrider, especially just because Batrider is so hard to kill. And like I said, once Legion Commander gets 2, and he does just there, and the Batrider gets 2 for Firefly, it's very, very difficult to actually kill them unless you initiate with an arrow. But even then, like I said, if Whitebeard's keeping his distance, a 5-second arrow doesn't matter because he can just get rid of it with the overwhelming odds. Or sorry, with press the attack.
This does become a tri-lane. And we'll see how long they're going to let this stay before one of the two drops into the jungle. Double damage picked up by Fluff and Stuff. He's going to come out. TC tried to catch the Tide of the Time Walk and allow a couple of auto attacks from that double damage Fluff. But Tide is doing quite well. He's sitting at level 3.5. CS-wise, he's actually got 9. So he's off to a wonderful start here in this bottom lane.
Yeah, well, he's got the lane positioning exactly where he wants it. And Fluff can't really harass effectively when the creeps are this far up for him. So as a result, you have good CS on Tide, and he can't pull because the pull ward is blocked, and he actually used 2 sentries and missed both of them. So he didn't even check the Magic Bush. Normally you want to check and see if the hard camp is actually blocked, so it gives you at least a little bit of a clue. I know they blocked it with 2, but they also did block one of them for using the Magic Bush, and I'm surprised he didn't look for that.
Well, I think they just ran out of sentries and not willing to spend more gold. As you can see, they dropped 2 to find the 1, but everything else still very warded up. They do have the hard camp and the medium camp down here, and the sentry should be expiring in about 2 minutes anyway, so as of right now, not a whole lot of lost time as they have yet to drop the Bat or the Legion Commander back into the jungle. And Whitebeard being caught from behind. Tried to be cute about it. He just way through. Now we're going to see an ensnare to follow it. And, oh, Fogged is in trouble. They're going to get him. 1 auto attack. They might get Leader of... might get Way 2. He's forced to use his magic stick to keep himself alive. Now here's a TP right back off the respawn. And disruptive lane proven. And it looked like, without a doubt, Whitebeard was just out of position. But, yeah, that's survivability that comes from press the attack. And the Bad Rider there to just pile on the damage. Quite nice. Now we're going to have Snaking taking some damage. Chilling Touch used on he and Void. TC will time walk. And they're going to get a couple of auto attacks here. I don't think they kill him. He's got 3 points in the Kraken shell. Yep, he's going to Kraken, and the Cold Feet not going to proc. Close, but not quite.
If he can get down there for the rune, it'd be massive. Oh, Snaking, go for the rune, go for the rune. Oh, he's actually going to save our Korok, so never mind. But he'll bottle up.
Ooh.
Rune is actually denied by Fluff and stuff. Nicely played. If he hits the orb, he kills him. But he doesn't hit the orb. Korok is pursuing Fluff and stuff. Has boots, where Fluff doesn't. Snaking does not have a point into Gush. He went 3 into Kraken Shell. So he might dive this. Unfortunately, if he had Gush there, I think that's a kill.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a weird build.
The scale, correct me if I'm wrong, but usually you don't see much more than 2 points in the Kraken early. 2 points basically makes it as reliable or more reliable than a Stout Shield. And that's usually all you really want or need. And, most times you don't see a Stout Shield and 2 points in the Kraken. It'll just be one or the other, and Snaking going boots first. Obviously, not buying the Stout Shield. So what's the point of the third point, do you think?
It just makes it, I mean, it's not bad. It's just, I think that 1 point in Gush, I wonder. It's a static 40% slow at all levels. So that means and the damage starting on for level 1 is 110. So it's not like a terrible nuke at level 1. It's a very, very good value point. So it's not so much that I don't like the Kraken Shell level up. It's just that I think that Gush is really, really good at level 1, and it's very, very useful, and he could have got a kill with it. But it's just because it makes him super, super tanky. Like 30 damage reduction every single hit. And Ancient Apparition actually suicides himself to newts. But yeah, like I said, it's not bad. I just think Gush is a very big value point, and I think he's missing out on not having it leveled up.
Well, taking a look at this mid matchup, we've talked very little about it. Brax is doing very well for himself. He's ahead of the puck. Korok will go ahead and drift his way into the jungle. He's going to run right into IX Mike. And Mike does have Firefly. We'll go ahead and use it. Has a little bit of help rotating along the side and fluff and stuff. But Snaking there to help out as well. And that's actually going to be Tide taking a DD. A little surprised he didn't save that for Korok. I think that would have been much more beneficial for him. Nonetheless,
Dire's middle tower
smoked out from Way 2 and Fogged. And these two are going to be very effective at roaming so long as they can find their targets.
Yeah, they had a good time up top for a little bit and got that nice counter kill. But when they got the kill, there was a massive double wave that was coming the way of Ush, and then the other two from Nyx just backed off all the way to the tower. So it was like, cool, they got the kill, but they gave so much extra space to Ush. And if you look at it, he's still basically free farming at 34 and 2, or 35 and 2 now. Actually, they're gonna push this tower, and Snaking is just having a complete free farming time in this bottom lane. Like that is the biggest problem for sneaking Nyx assassins. And like I said, it has to do with not having the correct lane positioning, and they didn't have the pole to work with, so they can't really harass him at his tower with just an Ancient Apparition. Even if they had more, I don't think they could, just because the creepy equilibrium was just too far in the way or in the favor of snaking.
Not really liking, I mean, efficiency-wise, it's 2-1. Navi US has the lead there. They are very close ahead, but efficiency-wise, Nyx is getting the better of them. Experience-wise, Nyx is beginning to fall behind a little bit, but we've yet to see Brax do much. He's level 7. He's still near the top of the CS board. It's actually the Faceless Void, TC, who is now going to work. And he's actually picked up an early ring of health. You thinking about going Battle Fury here?
It would seem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay against Naga, but the thing is Naga never really clumps her illusions. She always spreads them. So I much prefer Mjolnir to against illusion-based heroes, just because, especially against Naga, like I said, who's not clumping them. The illusions take extra damage from magic sources. So having the extra proc from Mjolnir or Maelstrom actually downs it faster. Rune spawned bottom. It's a bounty. I wonder if he ravages here. Yeah, Snaking actually ravages. Could be an easy kill on this onto Fluff and stuff. Totally agree with that decision. I think it's an easy pickoff. And they're gonna pursue him. Actually, they don't have enough for. Oh, nice TP out. Very nicely played by Snaking.
Yep, Brax thought about splitting. He actually started the animation, but this is a big deal. And Snaking again to this day, going back years ago, played the single most impressive game of Tidehunter I've ever seen. So whenever I see him on the big green watermelon, I'm always I'm generally in for a treat. And he is off to a fantastic start. 35 CS out of a off-lane position against a Void and an Ancient Apparition. That's pretty damn impressive.
And he did put the one value point into Gush. I'm really happy to see that. Like, it's sometimes it's very easy for players to like get in the OCD mindset of like, I have to go, things even. But that one extra point in Gush just makes all the difference in my opinion. And I really think that Navi US is in a fantastic spot. I think Nyx is in a really bad spot. Like, I mean, the graph isn't crazy or anything. In fact, it's very mild. But, I mean, Ush is basically... Yeah, I would say it's free farming, man. 55 CS for him. Yeah, this is a Naga. We've seen what Nagas do with just utter free farm. And Tide, we've seen what Tides do when they have a good lane. So I think that Nyx is in a really bad spot.
Yeah, they need to get something working. There's going to be an arrow shot. Ooh, that came a lot closer than you thought. Brax actually engaged Fog near the Ancients, but Fog's able to leap and run away. No problem. And Snaking is about as aggressive a player as I've ever seen in the North American scene. So putting him on a Tide, that's one reason he does so well. He is very quick to pull the trigger on anything that he thinks is going to benefit his team. And with a start like this, he's going to be having a Blink Dagger soon. I mean, hell, he's got his Arc Boots and Bottle. And now he's going to be gushing Mike, who's going to find a bounty rune in the meantime. Snaking's still right on top of him and just walking through all of this. There's going to be a coil from Korok as he pops the haste. Now there's going to be Brax using the split. Korok should be able to get away. Snaking not going to be so fortunate as the storm aspect tosses him into the air. He is hanging and banging a little bit more than you would think. Are you serious? He's coming back in to re-engage. He's going to bottle back up the immediate blink away. That is very good help coming over from Fogged. Just got in the way, and the fact that he actually managed to arrow the fire aspect. Hold that thought as Whitebeard taking some damage at top. We'll go ahead and press the attack. And good to go. But, I think he's, look at this. I think he just doesn't care. But yeah, that was actually a really nice arrow from Fogged. It caught the fire aspect that was burning him down and delayed it just long enough for him to survive.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say as well. It was a really nice... I think he actually dies if he doesn't get the Fire Panda.
Yep.
And Snaking with the level 3 Kraken actually came into play there. Arrow coming in onto Whitebeard. The stun to keep him in place, not quite enough. Can they have some extra auto attacks? The Ignite comes really late, but he didn't have mana at the time. I think he still dies here, though. If Ush gets the kill, it's really big. He does. So 2,800 gold for the Naga. Blink Dagger just picked up on the puck. Battle Fury is coming in the works for TC, but I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I got to admit, it's been a long time since I've seen a Battle Fury built on a Void. Like a long time. And guess he's role-playing, man. He's got the cosmetic. Gotta make sure follows through.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's like maybe this mental pressure of like I'm a one-position Void, and I need to prioritize my farm more than anything. But that's, I think, the innate problem with Void as a one-position. Like, I don't think just free farming with a Void is the best thing. Like, why not pick like, Anti-Mage or something like that?
Right.
So I thought that was a little weird when if you go back to the draft for SNA, I was like, this doesn't feel right. But we'll see if he can get active. I think TC needs to. Like, I think they really need to use this ultimate from him.
Let's say that, I mean, he's got 1,200 gold plus a Perseverance, so it's not as if he's farming poorly. In fact, he's got the most CS on the board, and he actually is ahead of even Ush in terms of overall net worth as well. Just imagine if he invested this into an early Mask of Madness, though. Like, he could have cleared out of this bottom lane. He could have allowed Whitebeard to head down there and farm on his own. And then he starts to roam around with Snaking and Fluff and Brax. Like if he starts to roam around with Snaking, Fluff, and Brax, think about the damage they could be wrecking right now. Like, if they catch 2 heroes under a tower, it's an insta-get. And then you would be giving all of this space to the Legion. Instead, now he's got to keep the #1 farm priority, and it's going to be poor Whitebeard giving up deaths in top lane and just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not my favorite choice, but I don't think it's really, I don't think it's really his fault. I think it's just from a drafting standpoint, it's kind of an error to have him as a one position, at least in this game against a Naga. Like, Naga versus your farm, Naga's just going to win, in my opinion. Especially when she's farming on equal footing as you. Like, yeah, she's behind a little bit in CS, but I mean, she's basically there. She has her relic at 13 minutes.
Mike, very quick reactions. Manages to blink himself to safety. And I kept calling Mike Snaking there for some reason when I was talking about them hooking up. It is so early, dude. I am so tired.
I know. I know. I'm right there with you, man. I haven't even had my coffee yet. Ooh, I need my coffee.
Yeah, I haven't had. I don't drink coffee much. I drink tea sometimes. Drink a lot of Diet Coke. Haven't had that. We're gonna have Korok engaged
into Brax. Oh, it's okay though.
Yeah, I'll be able to jaunt. And yeah, if Snaking's smart here, he's gonna notice that he doesn't. Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna notice he doesn't have enough mana for his split. Maybe a little optimistic. Nope, there's the coil. I thought Korok had bailed. Now he does though. So Brax able to turn it around. He did not have the mana for his split. Didn't see if he used a magic stick or what, but able to split, and it's going to be ineffective nonetheless. They're going to find Korok, but Korok himself has bottled himself back up and will be back under his tier 1. So Brax using the split defensively. Not optimum, but at least he survives.
Yeah, it was the game of who could waste the most ultimates. The Ravage was really questionable, actually. I don't think they were going to get any kind of kill with that. Yeah. And Korok was not really on the same page. He's like, oh, and then he had to quickly come back. But it's a 2 ultimate for 1 in favor of Nyx that time. Bottom tower is getting pushed. This should be free. They should not put up a defense as Mike. I think he actually showed himself. Not sure, but it does go. Actually, didn't get the tower kill. It's unfortunate. Does have his Battle Fury on the way, though. So 15 minutes with treads. Not bad. Not bad.
Ush, in the meantime, is in pretty solid shape. He's already got up his relic, and not far at all from finishing his radiance. There we go. That's the word we're looking for. I have got to wake up. My goodness. 2 hero smoke from Brax and Mike, and Korok is gonna pop it. Handy dandy, and Mike figured it out immediately, and now they're going to go on in, but Brax doesn't have his ultimate, so that's very aggressive, blinking blindly, and the coil's expended. Snaking wishes he had Ravage, certainly doesn't. We have 1 down on the side of Nyx, and now Mike trying to make it to the high ground will barely be able to survive. There's an Ice Blast that cleans up Fogged from distance. It's a 2 for 1 thus far. Korok continuing to run as TC came in as well, fluffing stuff in the meantime. Did he? Yeah, looks like managed to get a kill onto Korok as well. So 3-7, Navi US continuing to pile it on a bit, but TC's Razor is getting some farm. I think the Naga's going to explode soon, man. Like, is her Radiance done? Yeah,
I think so.
Done.
Yeah,
it's a 16-minute Radiance.
Yep, pretty damn good considering they had a little bit of aggression coming their way in the laning phase. Yeah, it was a nice AA ulti that just clipped the puck and just got low enough and shattered as a result. So Radiance is online, and now he begins his Naga thing. Says he's going to be farming. He does have a lane ward here. It's about to expire, actually. They're posing some kind of threat. There is a split up. Brew comes up. Naga, he doesn't get to spread his illusions, and Brax takes them all out. Kind of unfortunate right there, not able to get some farm with that. Had an illusion rune, though. Lucky for him. I didn't see that, but that's really lucky.
Yeah, I don't think the Naga's going to have any issue with farm, because as of right now, Nyx hasn't really... I mean, one, their Legion Commander has stolen no damage yet. We're at 17 minutes in. Legion Commander, in terms of net worth, is about as farmed as the... a little bit more farmed than the Ogre Magi, but is in support range in terms of overall net worth. So, and Whitebeard's also stolen nothing. Has no bonus damage whatsoever. They're going to take a tower, and that'll be handy. But they're going to end up trading their tier 1 at least from bottom. Fogged getting a little bit of farm priorities. He's going to find an urn for himself. He's got brown boots and a Wraith Band as well. Actually, they abandoned the siege on tier 1. I'm a little surprised by that.
They still have the Brewmaster split up. And they had Chrono, which I don't think it's been used yet this game, has it? 17 minutes?
Nope.
No Chrono? That's not too good. You want to use that spell very liberally. So he's gone a full series of levels for that ultimate, because it's been level 6, or he was level 6. And now he's level 11, so he's got level 2 of it and still hasn't used it. Here we go. Onto the puck. This should be a dead puck. Yep.
Got him.
That's how easy it is.
Yep.
Good ultimate spell.
And there's an Ice Blast. It's going to catch a couple under Moonlight Shadow. Brax didn't have to split there. There was no counter engagement. Ush still just going to do his job farming, and now it's just tower defense, basically, if you're Na'Vi.
Ooh, God. This Legion Commander is so good against Naga, at least early on, that his his overwhelming odds just killed the illusion straight up. No other creeps were involved to give it the extra damage. And as a result, Ush is going to farm a little bit slower. I really feel that's a big deal. That you have to have these illusions up and running. Ush just randomly finds Fluff, by the way. So random, but he gets a kill. What the hell?
I have no idea how he found him, actually. No clue at all. I guess the angle of the Ice Blast?
Possibly, yeah. That has to be it.
Yeah.
So nice heads up play there.
Because he walked right there. Like, it wasn't like he was, like, checking around. He walked straight there.
Yeah, exactly. Huh.
All right, Ush going back to work in the jungle. And per usual, what was it? A 16-minute Radiance. Bot's done almost on the Naga Siren, coming out about 2.5, 3 minutes later.
Yep, and this is with his first 2 illusions that he used, like, dying immediately. And maybe it's just because he knows how Fluff and stuff plays, because he's played with him, you know, for a few months before playing with Navi US, you know. He knows that Fluff likes to stay in the trees for a long time. And, yeah, like you said, knew the position of the Ice Blast, so. Okay, Magi gets picked off. Where I didn't see this, but...
it was bottom. There was an Ice Blast that led, then Mike lassoed him, and Brax just beat him down with his feet and stick.
Gotcha.
And there's that overwhelming odds once again, showing its strength. Whitebeard's got to get something working, though, man. Like, he's got to be playing from behind against a Naga Siren the entire game if they don't start to get kills with him. And that's just not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, he is running like a 4-position Legion Commander, so I think it's to be expected he wouldn't get much. But, yeah, I still think, yeah, Naga's a big problem. As long as they're keeping her farm relatively at bay by killing these illusions, they're okay. They're kind of running as 5. So not really anyone else is getting too much farm. But then again, I look at Nyx and same thing, like outside of the void.
Ravage on just TC. They will get him, though. Brax has his split. There's an Ice Blast that'll catch nothing. They just run on through it. And they still have their coil. And it looks like they're going to have to break off. And, yeah, whatever they've done with this Legion, I thought they were going to give her farm priority. I mean, I guess just in my head, you see a Void go out to the safe lane. You see a Bat and a Legion Commander go off lane. The natural assumption is that at some point the Void's going to get out of the safe lane, free that up for the Legion Commander, who's just going to get levels in the off lane with the Bat. Bat will go into the jungle, and then the Void will start to roam jungle and look to make kills happen along with the rest of his team. Instead, it's just been static, and this Legion is just completely irrelevant right now. Like, you know, you see a Legion Commander, this is the part of the game where you want to be snowballing. You want to be getting your early duels whenever you're close enough, all things considered, with items and progression. But 21 minutes in, haven't even seen a duel attempted. Brax is going to be hit from an arrow, with an arrow. There's going to be a lasso on the Fog as he tried to follow it up. Fog going to be caught with a nice blast. He's down. Korok's in trouble. Here's that duel. Will he get the win? He does. Finally gets some damage under his belt. Brax split and is trying to pursue them out, but doesn't look like he's going to go too deep, and they're going to take free tier 2 off of that one fight as well. Well played from Nyx.
Yep, Boots of Travel actually up on the Batrider before Force, so wants a little bit more map control. I would say normally I don't like it, but just because they have the Panda and I think it's broken, then she can TP to the Pandas. You can actually make I think it's so good. So good. So he can actually just be at fights a lot easier with the Panda, and since you're initiating off of a Panda split, and you can just go onto the Pandas, you don't really need Force, I suppose, early on, because he's probably going to stun someone with the Earth Panda anyway, so I think it's fine, actually.
And let's see if they want to... I mean, this is really where you can shut the Naga down. If you can take her jungle away, if you begin to close out the real estate, it just gets so hard for her, especially before any other big items come. Though she still does have 2,000 gold, despite the losses that Navi's been taking here and there. Ush has still already opened up a 500 gold lead, give or take, on the Faceless Void and taken over sole one position of net worth. So, I mean, that's just what a Naga does. Navi's going to smoke the whole team. And actually, that's 4 of them. Their 5th is back in the base. That's Ush. And they're going to have a chance to catch TC. There's the Fire Blast. Silence to follow it. Snake King's there. Ice Blast just to secure the kill. And it's actually the King that manages to get the kill there. So that's twice now they've managed to blow up the Void before he can do anything. Now we're going to have Mike going in very aggressively. Brax is going to be there right with him. Throws out a Flame Break, catches nothing. However, Whitebeard's going to get off his second duel of the game and get his second win of the game. Now there's going to be a lasso and a Ravage out of Snake King as they're going to try to turn it around. Void buys back. There's an ensnare on the Whitebeard as he's trying to run away. Song of the Siren holds everyone in place. And what's going on? He's not gonna try to hang. Just wants to run.
Yep. I mean, that was really good. The Song of Siren, the Void bought back at the very late into the fight. Wastes a lot of gold. Isn't gonna be able to farm for a little bit, and then Ush TP's top to pressure that lane. So really nicely played here by Navi US. And a Midas coming out from Ancient Apparition, and I am actually not a fan. I think,
really?
Yeah, I when the whole Midas craze was happening, I was like, oh, Ancient Apparition, because this is right after the Ags buff was added to her. I was like, this is awesome, you know, Midas buff. And I really thought about it. And I think the biggest thing about the Ags buff is not so much getting the levels and having the extra damage on it to level 3. I think it's just having no HP regen for 17 seconds, and that's flat. That's at level 1 and level 3. So I think Midas is not that good on Ancient Apparition, actually. In my personal opinion, I think just rushing an Axe is like 10 times better. But just because I think it's all about the duration of the Ice Blast, not so much the damage.
Now that makes a lot of sense. And the other side of the argument, as you said, is well, he needs levels. And, you know, the thing is, outside of Ags, he doesn't need a whole lot. And to be honest, if you go ultra late game with an Ancient Apparition, it is fairly common for the Ancient Apparition to literally, like, go hide, like, here. Or, like, over here. And just hide there the entire game because it becomes the value of the Ice Blast. And you can throw it from so far away relative. And, wow, Ush just got a solo kill with illusions. Yeah, he just killed Mike with illusions.
Arrow bottom, it's... Oh, nice little small blink there from Brex. They're taking Roche right under their nose, though.
Yep.
This is going to feel kind of embarrassing.
Snaking, doing ancients up there and everything. And there you go. TC will be the one to take it. And here comes Way2. Feeling a little foolish, as you said. The refresher is not that far away now for the Tidehunter. He's going to have his Oblivion staff done before long. Already has up Perseverance. And then just recipe. It is a very expensive recipe, though.
Yeah, it is. I really like that he went 4-staff, too. Like, I see sometimes a lot of ties just rush, like, blink into oh, nice disengage there from Navi US. That's really smart. That's the stuff that really takes you to the next level as a team. It's not getting overconfident and cocky over something as stupid as a tower kill. It's not that important anymore.
There's a coil. That snaking is lasso drugged to the high ground, and Whitebeard right there. Now, I gotta admit, I was really down on what they had done with their Legion, but Whitebeard in the last 5 minutes or so has really become impactful. We're just about dead even in terms of gold. The experience is actually in favor of Nyx Assassins now. And getting that kill on snaking, again, a pretty big deal. That's going to slow him down. And, you know, Refresher kind of, I don't know, in my mind, you go, oh, okay, Tide's got Arcane Boots, Blink, maybe a 4-staff, maybe a mech, whatever, you know, other those. Then it's like, naturally, he's going to get the Refresher. But it's easy to forget just how impactful it is, even though it becomes very common on farm Tides. Like, just how big of a deal it actually is for the Refresher to be done, say, before 30 or 35 minutes. And there's going to be
Ice Blast,
Chrono.
too.
Yep. And down it goes.
Yeah, really nice damage and coming up from the Faceless Void. Still quite a ways away from the Naga, actually. She's just taken off, as most Nagas do. Korok, he's bottom. Perhaps looking to expend everything onto Fluff, but I don't know if that's really worth it. He actually goes on to Whitebeard. Not going to have the damage, and he actually disengages. So I still think Navi US is fine, as you mentioned. Tidehunter with double Ravage is just so big. And like I was saying, I like how he's went 4-staff, because if you ever see a Tide go just Blink Refresher, you don't really have the mana for both of them, like right away, one after the other. And you're even cutting it close with just a 4-staff, but without that, I think you're really lacking in some mana.
I completely agree with you. Happened to myself in pub games a few times. You get an awesome Refresher up at like 28.
Oh no!
Bluff going toe-to-toe with Snakey. He's going to TP away. In the meantime, Mike being hemmed in and ensnared, and he's going to die to the illusions again. Nope, one last auto attack. And behind that, you're a duel. Oh, Song's actually going to stop the duel. So Snaking survives. There's an arrow that comes in and hits a creep. Now Brack's going to re-engage. He's going to go ahead and use Split. In the meantime, Ush going to be the primary target. Snaking's still alive. We saw he had used Ravage before. Big kill on Ush. We're actually going to have the Legion Commander lifted there as well. Here comes Snaking back in. They're still going on Ush. They will be able to get him. Now there's going to be a Chrono out of TC. That's going to allow them to kill off Snaking. And Fog now can do nothing but run. Has leap, has arrow if he needs it. BKB used by TC for the first time. But about as good an exchange as you could ask for, as they bring down some very important heroes on both sides. Actually, yeah, like the fact that they got Ush though just feels so much like such a bigger deal for Nyx Assassins.
Yeah, it really is. The damage coming out from the Legion Commander, despite him only having plus 42, is actually pretty good. Like his overwhelming odds is doing so much in these fights. I'm a big fan of this hero. I think it's a really nice addition to the draft. It still feels a little wonky to me, the fact they have a one position void. But here we go, Bad Lasso onto Fog. Korok is actually in trouble too. How didn't he lasso Fog? Did Korok jump in or something?
Yeah. Korok. Yeah, here we check. But yeah, there was a lasso, and yeah, basically that was the situation. Just both got caught from behind, both were burned down, and both got hit with the Ice Blast.
I don't know. I mean, of course Fog should have died there, but I don't know. Korok blinking in there is kind of weird. All right, well, Nyx has done a good job bouncing back.
(15-16), 31 kills in a 29 coming up on 30-minute game. We are up to about 2,500 gold, 10,000 experience, give or take. And tier 2. The last outer tier tower remaining for Na'Vi US does fall. Now, it's getting to the point it's just going to be all about Ush. I mean, it's been a 4-on-5 situation for a while. Ush has been avoiding fights as much as he can. Did finish his Manta, has his Vit booster up. Unless he's got something on the courier, is quite a ways away from his heart. No, he actually does have the heart recipe, so still a ways to go. But a little closer than it seemed at first glance. And we're actually going to have Ush caught with the Chrono. Is TC going to be able to kill him with the Ice Blast? Oh, he is. That's huge. That is such a big kill.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he was like just anticipating that, but he was actually microing his illusions onto Ike's mic and almost got the kill onto him at the same time, so maybe his focus was somewhere else. Puck gets a counter kill in the AA. Coil expended, though. And speaking of AA, Snakey needs to stop ulting solo AAs. That's like the third time. It was okay at the beginning of the game when it was like out of the laning phase, but you can't afford to have your ultis be used in that way again. And I think that definitely hurt him in the last fight.
Both teams going to take a breather for the moment. Mike working on a BKB. Has his Ogre Club up. There's a Scepter done on the Ogre Magi. And this is beginning to be problematic for the Naga Siren because the core items that are most necessary for Nyx Assassin to engage. In fact, there's almost an Assault Cuirass done. Yeah, there is an Assault Cuirass. I was going to say, did he have his Hyperstone? And he did. So Brack's done with Vlad's and AC. Whitebeard has managed to steal 42 damage now, which has caught him up considerably. He's going straight up BKB next. In fact, he has it in one creep wave. Bat, as we said, in good shape. Fluff is actually closing in on his Scepter now. He's about halfway there, give or take. And the Void is now beginning to build damage as he's picked up a Demon Edge and is going to be able to have it Daedalus before too long. He may end up going MKB, just in anticipation of perhaps a Butterfly Naga. But I feel like, you know, with Naga still not tanked up as much as she should be, and those last few kills slowing down the development of her heart, with the items Nyx has, they're going to be able to kill her in most fights, and they're going to be able to consider high ground sometime in the near future.
I keep seeing these Naga illusions just clumped up. Like he sent his Mantle ones clumped up mid, they just died. He sent all three of them clumped up mid, they just get overwhelming odds. So I think Ash needs to do a better job about actually spreading them out. Like right now they're even clumped, and if overwhelming odds was here, they'd all be dead. So, I mean, there's no options right now to send them, but just maybe even spreading them out from vision. Anyway, top push, I believe the Aegis is gone. Yeah, it is. But I have been impressed with TC. Like, I do think one position, I keep saying Razor, as you said it earlier too, just because his name.
Yep.
It's like one position Razor, nope. One position Void is harder to play, but he's done a good job. And it's not so much the Battle Fury is going to be not so effective against cleaving, clumped up illusions, but it does do good damage. Like, people forget that. It's 65 damage. It's pretty cost efficient.
Here we go. Chrono got to. TC catches Korok. and way too. And that's going to be an easy double kill. Arrow will connect, but Fogged just has to throw it and run. So they end up giving up 2. And that's going to be... Is that going to be his dataless? No, yeah, he is going dataless. So not too worried. And understandably, I mean, the Naga, if he's checking her inventory, which I'm sure he is, he's going to see she just has a vid booster. She is... God, it is so absurd how quickly a Naga can go from dying twice and having 500 gold. And hold that thought as nice song from Ush. Good reaction. As Fogg will be able to scurry to safety.
Oh, Whitebeard almost got the duel, actually, with a BKB. Nice choice, or... Nice try, I should say. It's unfortunate.
He had a blink. I don't know why he didn't blink.
It was on cooldown.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like 3 seconds left. So nice try. Refresher here for snaking. All right. Can you bring the pain, snaking? No more solo ultis on Ancient Apparition. They're gonna need it from him.
Yeah. It's so like they did a good job in a couple of those early fights in focus firing down TC, and that's what they're going to have to do. The problem is, like, I feel like Na'Vi needs to get Ush involved in these fights sooner rather than later. I mean, Ush is level 17, so he's got level 3 Song of the Siren up every 60 seconds. They're going to be able to take a Roche fight here. And, you know, Nyx is in pretty good shape. But I would think that if all things are equal and Na'Vi has 5 versus the 5 of Nyx, I actually like their 5-on-5 more right now because they can disengage if they have a priority target that gets Chrono. They can... disengage if they have a target that gets lassoed. And yes, the BKBs do make that a little bit more difficult. BKB's almost done on Mike, by the way. But if snaking hits even a decent Ravage and then follows it up with a refreshed Ravage, I feel like they're in fine shape. And now we're going to have TC trying to come in. He used his Time Walk, and there's going to be the Ignite onto him. But
they could possibly turn this if they clump up. He can Chrono. Oh, he didn't go for it.
He thought about it. Brax spotted out. And can't do much of anything. As Korok, trying to run away, gets caught from behind. Here's going to be a TPM with Boots of Travel. That'll be IX Mike. And Korok trying to lose him in the pit. We'll be able to jaunt to the high ground.
Darn. That could have been a 2-man Chrono. Almost 3 if Snaking walked into it. But maybe he was scared of a Puck just trying to evade it. And then it would end up being a BKB and a Chrono for just an Ogre. But unfortunate there, as they missed an opportunity. But yeah, also keep in mind too, if the BKB is not up on Void, when he Chronos, if that press the attack is up from Legion Commander, it's basically a troll ulti on top of him. So it's really, really good.
Here we go. Na'Vi smoking his 4. Mike has a haste rune though. They didn't pop the smoke. That's fortuitous. I hear that big yawn. I've been trying to avoid it. Oh, it's not the game is boring. It is that we are not sleeping a whole
No,
lot.
it's the coffee, man. I gotta get some coffee between games.
Yeah, I gotta get some to drink as well. But hopefully everyone else is enjoying their morning with us. A lot going on this morning in the Dota worlds. You've chosen to be here. We very much do appreciate it. And looks like the smoke going to bear no fruit as they pull on back to their side of the map. Take a look at the goal graph. We can see that Nyx is not only in control of the momentum, they are indeed quite far in control of the game, XP and gold-wise. And Na'Vi US is basically, again, just all about Ush right now. It's one of those games. They're just hoping the Naga saves them.
God, look at the other net worths, though, of Nyx. It's like all of them are farmed. Like Void, Panda, Bat, Legion, even Legion Commander's actually up there. And it just drops off for Na'Vi US. Like, Puck is not where he wants to be. The Ogre has his Ags at least, but yeah, as far as numbers are concerned with net worth, not even close to Na'Vi US. And Ancient Apparition, the Midas did pay off because they've kind of held their own and has gotten some better levels now. Level 13 with an Ags. So yeah, I think Nyx is in a very good spot. I'm surprised. I thought Na'Vi US was going to really take this one, just how well Ush got some farm in the early on, and even Snaking did so well in the bottom lane.
Moon Knight Shadow going to be used. This is actually really nice split pushing coming out of Na'Vi US right now. And they've reached the point where they've realized they can't win a full-on team fight like they were earlier. So I like that this is what they're falling back on now. They're pushing in the lanes. The Naga illusions are helping a ton. But just as much as anything, I mean, we can see Snaking hanging out Way2's here. He's actually been empowering the range creeps as they push this bottom tower just to help them push a little bit faster. And yeah, all of a sudden, even though Roche was up and they had a chance to try to make something happen, Mike is going to be getting a flame break on. There's an ice blast as well. So they do manage to find one, but they're still pulling them off of objectives. They're keeping them on their side of the map, and they're buying Ush a lot of time across the map in the jungle.
Yeah, I will say, though, they have really good heroes against, like, Naga. They have really good heroes against Tide. I've talked about this before in casts, like, for instance, yesterday, where there's a certain number of heroes that can actually just keep Tide in place without getting the Kraken pop. So Batrider is one of them. Legion Commander is one of the best, especially with the Blink. So they have ways to kill the Tide before you can get a Ravage off, and that's really important. Oh, even Chronosphere. Fantastic. So they have really good heroes against him. And they have all those heroes are also equally good against the Naga and keeping her in place before she gets a sleep off. So, yeah, I think the biggest problem too was that, like I said, Naga. Oh, Korok. There's no gem up. Oh, Dust actually on IX Mike.
Very good call, and that's going to be a win for Whitebeard. And that's going to be... What did he just buy? I just saw him buy something. He bought a Maelstrom, and that's going to be done now. Yeah, I didn't see the Glove of Haste in his inventory. So, nice pick there. Korok off the map for 50 seconds or so, but more importantly, that's more damage going the way of Whitebeard. And his damage output going up quite a bit with the attack speed increase coming from that Maelstrom. He's still at 78, and actually, I didn't even see where that happened. Looks like they just caught him and flat out caught him in mid.
Yep, with the Chrono, and that's what I'm talking about. Easy ways to take care of this Tide. He does have buybacks, but the worst comes to worst, you can buy back for a base defense, but 55 seconds, I don't think he wants to. Ush can try to push him back a little bit with these illusions. And the MKB, or sorry, well, speaking of MKB, the butterfly is up actually for Naga. So has farmed very, very fast right after that heart. And maybe, actually, TC's going to go for a refresher, looks like, before MKB. They'll definitely want to be an MKB, though, after that. As a 7th item.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Here we go. Tier 3 top being sieged and a whole lot being done about it. Ush is there with the DD, and Korok's going to come in and use his Yules, but not going to make any difference. Arrow does catch TC behind the fight. BKB up front on IX Mike. Here's going to be a buyback from Snaking. He's going to go and try to get the Ravage. He only got Brax. Brax does have Split, and Whitebeard's going to be more than willing to try to fight this with the BKB. Primal Split's going to be used. Snaking did refresh, so he has his second Ravage available when he wants it. Looks like they're just going to disengage and let Brax run a little bit of interference. They do go ahead and use the Moonlight Shadow. And they're going to try to catch someone lingering behind, but that's not going to be the case, as they may just run straight to Roshan, actually.
These Ravages are way too fanatic, man. Like, he's got to be a little bit more disciplined about them. Like, that was very, very wasted one. And it's kind of been that way all game, to be quite honest with you. Like I said, the solo Ravages being very liberal with him early on is totally fine, and he was, and that was great. And as a result, he had a very, very fast refresher and just force and everything. But they matter a lot more in the late game, especially when you're down. And I'm looking at the graphs here, and I think they are down. Oh my god, look at experience. It's like 30k.
LOL.
Holy crap, I knew they were down, but I didn't know that much.
Well, the thing is, and it's sad, but it's just how it works. Ush is getting close to 6-slotted, man. Like, he has one more slot, and he's done. And he finished his butterfly amidst all of this, and the racks are still standing. You get to this point in the game, 42, 45, 50 minutes into a game, and you have a 6-slotted Naga, and their racks are still up, you could find yourself in trouble regardless of how big your disadvantage happens to be. We've seen it time and time again. We've seen it in the East. We've seen it in the West. So it's the Ush show right now. And this is that situation where perhaps a little regret for TC not going MKB, as cracking high ground without one now going to be difficult.
Yeah, it is kind of. I mean, he had to expect, right, that Naga would be going for a butterfly.
Yeah,
kind of interesting. I mean, I get he can like sell his he could sell his Mask of Madness if he wanted to, or maybe even his Battle Fury. But like I said, he could just do a 7th item where if he has enough gold, it would take a lot though. Where he had the refresher, put it on the courier for after the usage of the first ultimate, swap out your items after that. So, but he's got it now, and he's almost got buyback too. So he's essentially 6-slotted.
It's going to have to be Whitebeard that gets an MKB then, and he needs it yesterday. Because the Naga's not going to stop. She's going to start cutting creeps in lanes, and she's going to make it so you literally can't get near their towers. Like, the fact that you have not taken a set of racks, this is why this is a big deal. If Ush micros his illusions well, and we can see he's just rushing at tier 2 bottom now. But, you know, if he micros his illusions well, anytime Nyx wants to push on the other side of the map, all he has to do is bring one around back like this, grab the wave, pull it off, and kill it with Radiance Burn. And they're not going to be able to get into the base at all. And they're just going to be able to play that way forever.
Yep, and Dire Tower bottom goes down. Weren't able to deny it. And yeah, I agree. I mean, Nyx definitely want to fight. They have all their items they really need. They have an AA that's almost level 16 with the blast. Speaking of, it's going to miss Korok. Korok, by the way, is working on a sheep stick.
Yep, he needs it desperately.
Just a matter of how well the Naga can spread off the map. She's doing a pretty good job right now. These illusions are just making it really... Actually, TC's going to deny that wave. But I really feel like just a decent chrono, especially onto snaking, is just going to really seal the deal. Like, that's so important, snaking getting a good chrono. A lot of pressure, actually.
I really want to see what Ush decides to build here. I think Diffusal?
Diffusal could be good.
Yep, there it is.
Yep.
It makes sense. I mean, when you look at the heroes she's up against, if she can ensnare a Brewmaster, or just they can chain stun him long enough for her to get some illusions on him and burn his mana down, suddenly it's a big win. Whitebeard's going to be forced to BKB as snaking runs upon him in the jungle. Down at bottom, Brax is doing what he can to solo push. And, like, getting the first Rax is such a big deal because after that, you can move into the base and cause havoc without having to worry about creeps. But they're going to try to turn it around. Fogged in position. Doesn't throw the arrow. Actually, it was on cooldown, so it couldn't. But
Korok up top. He's dead.
Yep.
I think. Yep. So the only way Korok actually could have lived there, he had to blink down. Because that's where he was facing. And with sticky napalm on you, you actually can't turn around to blink at all.
Yep.
So if he wanted to do it, he had to blink downwards.
Ice Blast on the way. Got some creeps. Not a whole lot else. Roshan, the target. There's a DD right outside. They don't even need it. Brax and TC. Doing work. And that's going to be a fresh Aegis for TC. Let's see if they want to. Does anybody have a bottle left? Yeah, they're going to go TC after all.
Ooh. Yeah, it's really nice for him. His Mask of Madness is just chilling in the Roche pit, by the way. You should go pick that up with the courier so he can swap it out. And a Maelstrom picked up by the Ancient Apparition. Never seen this before.
That's fun. I guess he wants build a Mjolnir just so he can give the buff to like the Legion or something.
Sure, or even the Razor. Or now I'm doing it. Even the Void.
I don't know. I mean,
why is it Razor? Is this just a troll or something?
Who knows? No, dude, you know Dope. All of us are.
TC's not a troll, though. Which is actually kind of funny and ironic because his name TC is for Troll Chief. Anyway.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Known TC for years and never knew that. All right, here's the arrow. BKB on the money. He's going to go in, look for a chrono, decides against it. Ice Blast is there, only caught fogged. And they can't do anything. That's a waste of a song, too. It's going to be 45 seconds, so it's back up now with the BKB down. They might try to re-engage. Korok's going to go in, gets the silence. It will just be his Aegis that gets burned, though. Now there's going to be a split. TC loses the Aegis. Korok just blown to pieces by Whitebeard. And they're trying to take their time here. Ush is still a major threat. And he's going to come in and try to engage on his own. There's going to be snaking using a Ravage that got only TC, but second Ravage is there. However, BKB's up. There was a refresher from the Void. It refreshed his ult. Even more importantly, it refreshed his BKB. And now they're going to take the racks, and this should just about be that. And the problem that Navi US had, again, and this comes down to something you were talking about, the control of the illusions, just not as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
They could, like, if he controls his illusions well and cuts the creep waves and just keeps all of the lanes permanently pushed, it's not possible for this to happen. But nonetheless, very well played from Nyx. And Brax is going to use his own BKB. Here comes TC. Wow. He just two-shot snaking. That just happened. And Ush is going to use Song. Whitebeard's probably just going to turn and duel him. Nope, actually just going to blink. And now they're going to go to work on TC. That Naga is doing a lot of damage. And TC's still able to make the way. Here comes an Ice Blast, though. It'll catch Way2 and Ush both. Brax about to give his body. But they get two sets, one full set of racks. They get the mid-melee racks, and looks like Navi's going to play it out, but this is going to be very, very difficult for them from this point on.
Love putting in some damage. If you get a 1 crit, yep. All right, easy peasy. From TC Razor. He's still got his Mask of Madness just chilling in the Roche pit. Maybe he wants an MKB instead. I don't blame him. He's just so made of money, man.
Yeah, I think he should have gone MKB first, actually, instead of crit.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I agree. I think MKB is still good against Naga, but crit's still fine. And his name is also Tyler Cook, so...
Yeah, that I did know.
I think it goes both ways. But yeah, his old name from Dota 1 and Han was
Troll Chief.
Troll Chief. Actually, no, not even. In Han, he was TC. But in Dota 1, yeah, it was Troll Chief.
Haste. Yeah, I like... Tyler Cook is what I always associated with. And fun to know. Fun little trivia. We need to have it... Every now and then, you and I just need to go live and talk for like an hour about all the behind-the-scenes stories and trivia we know about players. I bet people would love that.
Or drunk party stories at TI or something.
Oh, got a billion of those.
Mason was insane. I just gotta say that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Mason was nutty. I go overboard sometimes. Not so much anymore. But I have that streak in me, and even so, like, I won't say Mason outran me or anything, but he was to the point that I wondered if that's how I looked whenever I had too much. And anyway, there's going to be a solo kill from TC. Ush is there. He's going to be lassoed back. They got snaking, and they're going to get Ush. The refresher on the lasso, enough to secure it. Ush down. I'm sure he has buyback, but I don't think it's going to matter. They're just going to run at the racks and probably prompt the GG.
Well, very well played by SNA. I was surprised and impressed. Arrow coming out. It's going to hit a creep. But the refresh on... I almost said it, but the Void is up. And now he's got BKB ready to go again. Only 5 seconds, but it's still there. And the Chrono as well with... he did buy a Butterfly, I believe, which is on the Courier.
Arrow, BKB. And TC is going to jump right onto the Naga. Can't hit her. Don't you wish you had that MKB now? Ice Blast is going to be there. It's very nice 4-man Ice Blast. However, they lose TC behind it. Brax has ulti if he wants to use it. Ush is going to be caught and dueled, though. And at this point, that's what I was saying. It has to be Whitebeard, as he's able to finish him off.
GG.
Next. Yep. GG, go next. As SNA. And if you're wondering, by the way, we didn't even really talk about it at the beginning of the match, because we talked about it so much last night, put a announcement out about it and everything. Sure, there are plenty who are like, hey, what the hell's SNA doing in this tournament? They weren't on the original roster. You're right, they weren't. Unfortunately, yesterday, Secret chose to withdraw from the D2L due to some overlapping conflicts and other things going on. And we reached out to SNA, and they were willing to jump in and take over the schedule. And, you know, this is a Navi US squad that has looked pretty good so far in D2L play, man. This is not a team that should be taken lightly whatsoever. And Nyx it took him 52 minutes, but that's largely because of the Naga pick. Nyx, however, led most of that game by far.
Yeah, I would say towards the beginning I was really scared for them just because of how well Naga was farming, and not just Naga, but Snaking just did really well in the bottom lane to it. Better play, honestly, from Sneaking Nick Assassins. I think they outplayed, and Legion Commander actually did work that game. Like, score might not be all that flashy, but overwhelming odds, and just being able to take out the illusion. Like, before Naga had Heart, he would just almost one-shot all the illusions if they were clumped up with just his one nuke. It's really effective.
Right. Now, taking a look at the standout performers, 11-3 for Troll Chief. For Tyler Cook, 11-3-7 for him, so not bad. 0-7 on Fogged. He was fairly impactful early, but after that, and you know, it's the problem we sometimes see. It's just you can have an impactful Mirana. In fact, we saw the exact same situation out of Sing Sing, whenever he was playing against Navi US just yesterday. And just unable to translate, unable to get anything going. Ush finishes at 5-4-5. His GPM, by far the highest on the map. TC was the only one even in range of it. But, you got to execute. And I think if, Ush played a very good Naga mechanically for the most part, but, the little things, like you said, spreading the illusions, keeping them alive, making sure the lanes stay pushed, not giving them up for free, and that sort of thing. Something he can work on, and I'm sure he will, as the scouting report I've received on Ush from numerous people now is the kid's a player. He is very young. He is just now really getting into a professional career, and I think he's going to be excellent by the time all is said and done. Alrighty, guys, I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers. Thanks again for being a part of the broadcast. Packed Sunday, I know, in terms of Dota action. And I hope you guys are enjoying not just our show, but there's a lot going on elsewhere with BTS and Dota Cinema. Hopefully you're bouncing back and forth, and hopefully we'll have you back for our second game as well.